Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean with Manful Yoga. So today is Wednesday, November 27th, 2013, the day before Thanksgiving. So you might get this before then, maybe not. But the point is, maybe you can use it post Thanksgiving when you're feeling guilty, or before Thanksgiving, so you can break your body down and then rebuild it with 2 or 3 pounds of turkey. Anyways, so you guys know my lack of love for traditional yoga warm-ups. So, I don't like going straight down in a down dog. I don't like doing sun salutations to start off. So today I'm going to start off in modified chair pose. So you're going to bring your feet shoulder width distance apart, slightly angled out. So more traditional squat, pretty much. And you're going to start arms straight out in front of you. Make sure your fingers are reaching forward. Your triceps are going to be flexed. Everything's tight up here. Bring your core up as you lower down and try to transfer the weight into your heels. So I'm not arching my back as I do this. I've got my core nice and engaged in bringing my pubic bone forward, all that stuff. And I realize I say that a lot, but the point of it is because it's effective. It works for me, and I'm trying to drill that into your head as well. So sitting down lower now, trying to get your upper legs to be parallel with the ground. If you don't have the hip flexibility for it, that's fine. We're working on that, obviously. Now we're just warming up. So sitting down a little low if you can, keeping your arms reaching forward, keeping your core engaged, bringing your lower abdomen into the equation. So every time you exhale, you should feel it tighten up in here, right? That means you have an engaged core. So staying here about 5 more breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Controlled breathing. 3 more. Last breath. Exhale, come up. Good, so we've got quads growing now, hamstrings a little bit. So let's transition to a lunge from here. So let's lower the left leg down, come to a low lunge with the right leg facing forward. Start to work on the hip flexor. So instead of bending forward here, getting a knee over the ankle, let's start straightening up. So let's start pressing into the foot in the right foot, pulling the left hip flexor forward, right hip flexor comes back, and I've got this, I've got both legs are actually perpendicular to the ground. Unless you've got, if you've got more flexible hips, then you're going to be back here like that. But if you're a little tight, you're going to be parallel to the ground here. Perpendicular to the ground here. You're going to be perpendicular to the ground right about here as well, leading up through your torso, through your abdomen, and all the way up. So engage your core, pressing into the right foot, and then reach your arms up. So we've got 5 breaths here, letting your shoulders relax away from your neck, but keeping your arms reaching up. So you're not reaching up as high as you can here with your shoulders. Your shoulders are relaxed, but your arms are reaching up as high as they can. A couple more breaths here. Keep pulling the hip flexor forward, the left hip flexor. 2, 1, lower down, and I'm going to shift into the right hamstring. So I'm starting to press the heel down, starting to flex the right toes toward my body. And then I'm going to take my 3 fingers, grab this hip crevice right here, and pull back. So now I've got my lower back stretching as well. And I'm leaning my upper body forward, letting my head and my neck relax. Left and right hand actually are next to my hips. Just relaxing. Then I'm going to come forward and I'm going to root up here. So I'm in a low lunge still. Upper body is not up yet, but I've got a strong back leg rooting into the ball of my back foot. Heel reaching toward the ground. Left hip flexor is reaching forward. Right hip flexor is back. So I've got a lot of tension going on in my lower body right now. And now we're going to come to a balance on our right leg. So straight up into it. So I'm going to bring my left leg forward Knee's going to come to hip level. Going forward, slowly, slower than I just did. And I'm balancing on my right leg now. So you're going to engage the quad and you're going to engage the core. So when you do those things, a couple things happen. Most importantly, it's easy for you to balance here. If you take out some of the uncertainty in your lower part of your body, it's a lot easier for you to work because you don't have to worry about it, right? So tightening your muscles here makes you wobble less. From here, you're going to bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee and reach your left hand back. So the left hand is exposed to the, let's see, this is going to be our left side of the room. This is going to be right, back, and forward for today. I'll try and remember that. So it's facing the left side of the room. This is called Dancing Shiva. It's a pretty cool name, so I'll just keep it. I don't need to make another one for it. So we're just balancing here. Take a couple more breaths. Make sure the quad's engaged in your right leg. Slight bend in your knee. And then we're going to come back to a lunge. Come back to center. Drop your left leg back to a lunge. And then lower your hands, and you're going to reach your right hand up. So we're in a low lunge with a twist now. Still pressing through my back foot, reaching up through my hands, pressing into my left hand as well. And I've still got my hips in line here. So my knee is over my ankle here. I've still got my left hip flexor pulling forward. And I'm looking up at my outstretched right hand. Palm is facing the right side. And I'm bringing my core, I'm engaging my core in my body. What I mean by that is I'm pulling my lower abdomen up and forward towards where my right foot and my hand are. And that's going to keep my core engaged. That's going to prevent this arch in my back. And then I'm going to lower my hands and bring my right foot back. And then I'm going to bring my left foot forward. Come to a low lunge over here. So I'm in a low lunge. Right hip flexor is pulling forward. Left hip flexor coming back. I'm going to reach my arms up. And I'm going to reach my butt, so my butt here, obviously, toward the ground here. So that's going to help bring my butt under my body, keep my back flat here, keep my core engaged, particularly the lower abdomen here. And I'm reaching up. And every time I exhale, I'm going to feel my core tighten up because I've got my core engaged. So I say that all the time, but it's important if you want to have the core strength, and if you want to do these poses properly, you have to have your core engaged. And again, my shoulders are away from my neck. My arms are reaching up as high as they can. They're locked out, but I'm not reaching up with my shoulders as well. My shoulders are relaxed right in here. A couple more breaths here. I'm going to lower here. And from here, I'm going to root my back foot and come to low lunge here. So I'm pulling the right hip flexor forward, left hip flexor is coming back, pressing through the ball of my foot, my right foot, and heels reaching toward the back. And I've got my core engaged, again, under my body, like I'm doing a crunch. And that's going to keep my back straight. Reaching the crown of my head forward, creating length from my spine all the way to the crown of my head. And now from here, lower the knee, shift back, come into a hamstring stretch. Flex the toes back toward you. Pull your left crevice here. Get your 3 fingers, claw it, and then grab your left hip crevice, pull back here. So we start to stretch out the calf, the hamstring, and the lower back on the left side. Make sure your toes face toward you and reaching towards you. Heel is pressed into the ground. If you want, if it's uncomfortable right now, because it's still early, don't worry about it. Then you're going to come forward, root the back foot, press up, knee is over ankle here, right hip flexor is pulling forward, so I've got that, this back leg strong and engaged. And then I'm going to come to balance on the left foot. I'm going to bring the knee forward to hip level, and then I'm going to stand there until I go to Dancing Shiva. So, bend here, come up slowly, keep this leg strong, flex the left quad, so that stabilizes your left leg, and then engage the core. And actually, as you engage the core, it's the same thing as when you're doing a crunch or when you're bringing your knee to your elbow or your nose from a plank position. Engaging your core actually helps bring your leg up here. So as I engage my core, the leg comes up. Take my left hand, put it on the outside of my right knee, and I reach my right hand back, open it up toward the right side. Keep my left leg strong and engaged. Quad flexed. This wall is helping me cheat a lot. Anyways, I'm going to look at the wall now. Reaching back with my right hand, exposing my torso to the right side. A couple breaths here. Keep rooting through the ball of your foot and your left foot. And then bring your hands back to prayer. Reach your right foot back. Come to a lunge. So then I'm right here, pulling the right foot forward. Keeping up here. And then I'm going to reach my left hand up and start to open up the torso. Reaching the crown of my head forward, so creating length from my heel all the way to my head. And then my left hand is open to the left side. And I'm reaching up, so a lot of the weight comes out of my hand, my right hand here. So most of the weight's in my legs. My hand is just here just because it's convenient. But there's not a ton of weight in my right hand here. If you see, I can pick it up and put it back down. So a couple more breaths here. 2, 1. Lower your hands. Bring your left foot back to meet your right foot. Lower your body toward the ground. Keep your elbows tucked in tight. Shoulders are up. I'm going to bring my belly button up. So I've got a flat back. And then press back up. I'm going to do 4 more of these. So lowering down. Elbows tucked in tight. Shoulders up. Back up. Lowering halfway down. Forearms perpendicular to the ground. Upper arms going to be parallel with the ground. Bring my belly button up into my core. Shoulders up. Push back up. 2 more. Lower down. Elbows tucked into sides. Bringing the crown of my head forward, creating length. Pressing back up. Last one. Lower halfway down. Elbows tucked into sides. Squeeze. Shoulders stay open. Press back up. And then go back into down dog from here. So we've done a lot of stuff with our hips so far. Done some hamstring stretches. So now I feel comfortable going into down dog. So first down of the day, let's set a precedent. So don't be lazy in down dog. So press through the heels, flex your legs, reach your hips up and back, try and create a flat back here. So we're really reaching up. So that difference between this bend right here in your lower spine and the straight back is just a little bit of a push. So let's work on that. Pressing through my fingertips in the front. I'll do 5 breaths here. Make sure that you roll your arms. So I'm rotating my arms so the triceps face back. My biceps face forward. And in my legs, I'm rotating in. So my inner thighs are rotating in. My legs stay the same. And I reach up and back to my hips. Try to suck my belly button up into my lower back. That helps create length. 2 more breaths here. Now we're going to bring the right foot to the outside of the right hand, as far up as you can. Now we're going to switch. So bringing the left foot up to the outside of the left hand, right foot's going to come back. We're going to do 5 more of these to each side, so working on opening up the hip flexors. It's a very active stretch. Switch again. Switch again. Switch. 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 So I'm getting my body up as I jump, and I'm landing lightly. Couple more. Switch. 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 And now bring your left foot up to meet your left hand to the outside. I'm going to come straight into a squat. So bring your heels in, point your toes out as much as you need to. Come to a squat right here. Maybe your butt doesn't come all the way down, Mine isn't today, so I'm going to be right in here. I'm going to press my elbows into my knees. If you can't get this low, if you're right here, that's fine. Press your hands into one another and try and bring your butt forward. Bring your butt under your body. Keep it straight back. Be here for 5 breaths. See if you can go lower while keeping the straight back. Really, you're going to have to engage your core here. Really going to have to work your core. 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Bring your feet together. Toes touch, heels touch. Inhale up. Bring your hips forward and just open your arms up. Little back bend here. You can squeeze your shoulder blades toward one another. Opening up, looking up at the ceiling. Hips coming forward. Core engaging, so I'm not hollowing out my back here. And then come forward, forward fold. Bend your knees as you come down. Let your head hang heavy. Look between your legs. Come to a half lift. Keep your legs bent initially. Press your hands into your shins to push your head forward. Create some length in your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let everything out. Do that one more time, that half lift. Rise up. Keep your knees bent. Press into your shins with your hands to reach your head forward. Looking straight at the ground. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Raise up. It's a half lift. Press your hands into your shins. Reach your head forward. Weight comes into the front of your feet. Try and keep it in your heels. Lower down. Jump back or step back. Come to a plank position. Roll your body forward. Turn your triceps to face the back. Lower down halfway. Elbows tucked into your sides. Lower your knees. Lower down all the way. Press the tops of your feet into the ground. And then just peel your upper body off the ground. Using only your lower body strength. And arching your back a little bit. No weight in the hands. Lowering down. And then pressing back into child's pose. So we can take a quick child's pose here. Just to try and slow stuff down. Because we want to make this last. And it's easier to make it last if we slow things down. So you're going to lower your head into the ground. Forehead touches the mat. Press your fingers back. So you're pressing your hands, your fingertips into the mat to force your butt toward your heels. And you can squeeze your arms together or toward one another. And that helps the muscles right around your scapula. Right around here. Couple more breaths. Come forward. Come back to down dog. Get your hands wide if you want. I like to make my hands wide here. Just get a better opening in the shoulders. A little bit of a different perspective as well. Press through your heels. Remember, we're pressing down hard through our heels, reaching up and back through our hamstrings with our hips, trying to get our belly button to tuck into our lower back. So really working on hamstrings today. Really working on reaching up and back in down dog. This is a great pose for calf flexibility, for hamstring flexibility, for lower back flexibility. So we're really going to work hard on this today. Again, a couple more breaths. Inhale, and on the exhale, bring your right foot forward, be framed by your hands. If this is too much for you, so this is a pretty wide stance right now, drop your foot back a little bit, and then engage your core. So I'm rolling my core up, getting my core tucked into my right thigh here, reaching my arms forward, and then coming up in a Crescent Warrior. So I'm really pressing back through this back foot, keeping that engaged, bringing my butt under my body, so I'm really working on hip flexibility too. I don't want to have this lazy back right here. I want to bring my butt forward and under my body. That's going to help. And then I'm reaching my arms up, lowering my shoulders away from my neck, reaching up with my hands, keeping my hands active, keeping my core engaged. And we're going to be here for 10 breaths. So keep pressing through your back foot. Raise up the toes on your front foot. Knees above ankle on the front foot. Back leg is strong and engaged. And relax. Slow step down. Pick a spot in front of you and focus on it, or close your eyes. You're not going to go anywhere. The room's not going to go anywhere. Ooh. Part of closing your eyes is making the balance more difficult. 3 more breaths here. Lower your hands, frame your right foot. Now we're going to come up in a needle pose. So I'm reaching, so I'm going to try and straighten my right leg. I'm going to definitely straighten my left leg. Reach my heel up as high to the sky as possible. Flex my toes toward me. A lot of the weight here can be in your hands. So come forward, balance on your right foot. If you want, you can lock out the right leg as long as you keep the right quad engaged. And then I'm going to flex my toes toward me in my left leg. Reach my heel toward the sky. Lock out my left leg and reach up as high as I can. So really feeling a stretch in my calf here. Really feeling my quad engaged. I'm sorry, my glutes engaged right here. A lot of the weight can come into your hands. Lowering my head, lowering my neck. So I'm looking back at my left foot. Keeping it flexed, keep reaching up. A few more breaths here. Maybe I straighten my right leg. Maybe I can bring my right hand to my calf here, my left hand, and balance. You can pull into your calf here and reach up higher with your left leg. 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to bring my left foot forward all the way through. Come to balance on my right leg. We've been doing a lot of stuff with hamstrings already. We've been doing a lot of stuff with hip flexors. So we're going back and forth, back and forth. So we just did stuff with hamstring. Did stuff with hip flexor, do some stuff with hamstring again. So bring your leg up as high as you can here, not as high as you can, just to hip level. And you're going to reach your arms up. You're going to round your back, reach over and grab the bottom sole of your left foot. Flex your right foot so the quad's tight, balancing on my right leg. Reach out through my left leg. Flex my toes toward me. Pull my chest towards my toes. Keep my right foot engaged and strong. Lower down. Come to Warrior 2. So Warrior 2. Heel pointing toward heel. Foot slightly turned in. Bending into my front leg. Knees over ankle. Hips squared up to the left side. Core engaged. Bring my butt under my body. My butt under my core. Arms come up to shoulder level. Reach out in both directions with my hands. We'll be here for a few breaths as well. So keep bending into the front knee. Keep pressing into the outside of the back foot. Keep your hips squared up toward the side. You don't want to start to turn your hips like this. You want to keep your hips squared up to the side. Keep pulling here. Keep opening the hips up. Keep bringing your hips forward. Keep bringing your butt under your body. Five more breaths here. And a little deeper into the front leg. Bring the toes off the ground. 2 more breaths. Windmill your arms down to frame your right foot. Bring your right foot back, and we're going to come up into a side plank. So right foot comes to stack on your left foot. You're going to look like this. Your shoulder is going to be above your left hand. So adjust if you need to. And then reach up with your right hand. Reach up with your hips. Reach your right leg up. Flex your toes toward you. Micro bend in your left arm. Keep reaching up with your hips. Keep reaching up with your leg. Reach up with your hand. Getting as high as possible here. 3. Keep your core engaged. I'm keeping my chest in somewhat. Ribs reaching toward one another. 2, 1. Lowering my hand and going through my vinyasa. So lowering down halfway, coming up into up dog, flexing my feet, rolling my shoulders open, and then pressing back into down dog. So remember the down dog for the day. Working hard here, pressing down hard into the heels, reaching the hips up and back, pressing into my hands. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. Try and regain our composure, retain our breath. Okay, so bringing the right foot forward now. Making sure the right knee is over the right ankle. Pressing in hard for the back foot. Bringing my core up so I can feel my abdomen along my right leg. Reaching up, coming into Crescent Warrior. 10 breaths here. Bringing my butt under my body. Reaching up with my hands. Lowering my shoulders away from my neck. Keep pulling the left hip flexor forward. Knee over ankle. Toes off the ground in the front foot. Every time I exhale, I should feel my core engage. I should feel them tighten up. Bend a little deeper in your front leg. If this knee starts to pass your ankle, widen your stance. And if the knee starts to widen your ankle and you can feel that your back sinking in, bring your core on your body or make your stance closer. Bring your feet closer together. Five more breaths. Lower my hands. And from here, I'm going to come to needle pose. So I'm going to reach my left heel up, reach my right toes, with my left toes toward me. And then, yeah. So I'm starting to straighten my right leg here. Pull my right hand toward my body. So pulling my right, let's see here, my right hand toward, my right hand into my calf, reaching up through my left foot, my left heels, my toes flexed toward me, reaching down toward the ground with my head. Maybe I start to balance. Maybe I bring my hand behind my right calf here, reach up through my left heel, straighten that leg. Maybe I straighten my right leg, as long as I'm keeping my quad engaged here. I'm going to bend my right knee, bring my left knee forward, come to a standing position here with my left knee at the same height as my hip. And remember, if you engage your core, you can bring your leg higher. And reach my arms up, still bouncing on my right leg, keeping my core engaged, keeping my right quad strong, right leg strong. Round my back, reach over my toes, grab the bottom of my feet, and I'm going to press into my left foot now, flex my toes toward me, reach my chest toward my body, chest toward my toes, straighten up through the right leg, and then I'm going to come back to Warrior 2. Knee over ankle, outside of foot pressing down, hips open toward the right side, heels pointing toward one another, core engaged, butt pulling under my body, bending deeper into my front leg, hands come out. So if you haven't realized, we just did the same leg twice. Yeah, I did it. So we're going to do twice on the opposite side now. There's no reason why you have to do one leg and then the other leg. You know, we can do them both. Bending a little deeper into my front leg, keeping pressing through the outside of my foot. Keeping pulling my core forward, pulling my butt under my body. 3, 2, 1. Windmilling my arms to frame my foot, bringing my right foot back, stacking it on top of my left foot, and coming into side plank. Slight bend here in my elbow, reaching up through my right arm, reaching my hips up, reaching my leg off the ground if I want, and I can also extend my arm over my head, palm facing down. Keep your ribs rolling toward one another, so I'm having a nice humble chest here, which is going to help engage my core instead of just pressing out like this and arching my back. Keep reaching up. 3, 2, 1. Lower your hands. Bring your upper body forward. Lower down halfway. Keep the core engaged, so I'm keeping my belly button up, keeping a flat spine. And then I'm coming to up dog. Flexing my legs, coming forward. Squeezing shoulder blades toward one another. Exhaling, pressing back into down dog. And then coming to child's pose. 5 breaths here. If you're going to work on recovering, bringing your breath back to normal. So press your fingertips into the ground. Reach your hips towards your heels. Squeeze your arms in toward one another. And then try and feel some relief right in here. You also feel some relief up in here if you're doing what I told you with your arms. Okay, come back up into down dog. Press down hard through all points. Pressing hard to my heels, pressing hard into my hands. Hips coming up and back. Shoulders rolling out, so my triceps face back, biceps face forward. And then pressing through my fingers, pressing through especially through my index and my thumb fingers. Reaching my hips up and back, trying to hollow up my chest. So I'm trying to think of bringing my belly button to my lower back here. Exhale everything out, and then let's see. Yep, bring your left foot forward. Pull your right hip flexor forward. Pull your core forward so you can feel your core engaged along your left thigh. Press back through the ball of your right foot, and then rise up in the Crescent Warrior, same on your right side. So right hip flexor is going to come forward, left hip flexor coming back, reaching the toes up, reaching the hands up, bending more into the front leg so that your knee is over your ankle. Keep pulling your core forward, keep pulling your butt under your body to get a deeper stretch in your hip flexor, also to protect your lower back. Every time you exhale, you want to feel your core tighten up. Five more breaths here. Keep pressing through the back heel. Keep the right hip flexor pulling forward. 3 more breaths. You lower your hands, frame your front foot. You're going to straighten up on your left leg. You're going to try and lock it out. If you can't, that's fine. If you don't have the hamstring flexibility for it, don't worry. And then you're going to reach up with your back foot. Heel's going to reach toward the ceiling. Toes are going to be pressing towards the ground. That foot's going to be flexed and locked out. So I come forward, balance on my left foot, put some of the weight in my hands, reach my right heel up, toes flex toward me and point toward the ground. If they're pointing out like this, turn your thigh in, and then start to straighten your left leg. Keep the thigh engaged here. So you don't want it weak and locked out. You want the thigh engaged. You want the muscles engaged here. And then you can bring your left hand behind your calf. Bring your right hand behind your calf if you want. Keep reaching up through your right foot. Keep reaching the heel towards the ceiling. Keep that. So we've got a lot of stuff going on here. We've got muscles here really engaged. We've got the muscles here really engaged in my left thigh. reaching up. Now we're going to bend both knees. Bring your right knee forward. Come to balance on your left foot. Keep the left foot strong and engaged. I'm going to reach my arms up. Bring the right leg up higher. Toe is strong. Toes are strong here. Toes flexed. Toward me. Reach the arms up. Round over my body. Grab underneath my foot here. Keep my left foot flexed, my left thigh strong. Press up to my right foot. Flex my toes back toward me. Try and bring my chest toward my toes. 3, 2, 1. Release. Come back into Warrior 2. Setting my foot down, heel leading toward heel, hips open toward the side. Bend to my front leg. Press into the outside of my back foot. Hips squared toward the side. Bring my butt under my body. Maybe turning this hip back a little bit if it starts to open up too much. Making sure that I'm reaching this leg back so I can see my big toe. Bring my arms out. Sinking lower into this pose. So I want to make sure that I'm not leaning too far forward, too far back. I want to be somewhere right in the middle. Continuing to bend in the front leg. Keeping the press into the outside of the back foot. And then you can squeeze your feet toward one another to help bring your butt closer together under your body. So that brings your butt forward, brings your butt under your body, opens your hips up more, also engages your core more. 5 more breaths here. One, frame your foot. Bring your left foot back to meet your right foot. Actually, you're going to stock your left foot on top of your right foot. So come into a side plank now. Right shoulder is going to be overhand. Turn your bicep to face the right side. Reach your arm up. Turn your ribs in so the core engages. You don't want to have your big puffed out chest right here. Remember, yoga is a very humble thing, if done by some people. And then reach your left leg up, Left arm comes over your head. Palm faces down. Reaching your hips up, reaching your leg up. 3, 2, 1. Come forward, come back to a plank. Lower down halfway, elbows squeezed in tight. Come to up dog. And press back into down dog. And let's go to child's pose from here for 5 breaths. Push your hands into the mat, forcing your butt closer to your heels. Head is on the ground. Okay, coming back into, back into down dog from here. Reaching hips up and back, trying to bring your belly button up into your lower spine, pressing into your fingertips, pressing heels back, really pushing back, really reaching up through the hips, trying to eliminate that curve in your lower spine. 3 breaths here. Bring your left foot forward, frame by your hands, pulling your right hip flexor forward. Now we're going to come back up into, coming back up into Crescent Warrior. So bending deep into this leg, bending deep into your hip flexor, pressing back through the back foot. Actually, let's try something. So I want you to bend your knee all the way to the ground and then just straighten the leg. Nothing else changes. So we're really got a deep stretch in our hip flexor right now. Right hip flexor pulling forward, left hip flexor back, left hip flexor back. So we're squaring up. Arms come up. Lower shoulders away from the neck, keeping the core engaged. Still pressing through my back heel. Core still engaged here. Knee bent over ankle. Bring the toes off in the front foot. Bending down a little deeper. Still reaching up. 5 more breaths. Lowering my hands, preparing for needle. I'm going to try and straighten my left leg as much as possible. Straighten out my right leg, lock out that knee, reach the heel up toward the sky, toes point down towards the ground. I can transfer a lot of the weight here into my hands if I want. As long as I've got my toes pointing down and this foot locked out, this leg locked out, I'm good. And then I'm going to bring my left hand behind my left calf, maybe a little more difficult balance. Right hand comes as well. I can pull my hands into that calf then and straighten the leg as long as I'm keeping the thigh engaged, reaching up with my right glute. Another few breaths here. Still reaching up. And I'm going to come forward to balance on my left leg. So I'm bending both knees, bringing my right knee up to hip level, flexing my left leg, flexing my quads, flexing my hamstrings, reaching up, rounding my spine, grabbing the bottom of my right foot, and then I'm going to, with my left leg strong, press out into my right foot slowly, so that doesn't happen. Flex my toes back toward me, pull my chest toward my toes, trying to flatten out my lower back. 3, 2, 1. Bringing my right foot back, coming into Warrior 2 here. Heel leads toward heel. I'm going to have my right foot in, pointed in just a little bit, so it's kind of at an 85-degree angle to my front foot, not quite 90 degrees. And then I'm going to bend into my front knee, making sure that I'm opening my hip up here so I can see my 2 big toes. Well, you only have 1 big toe there, but you're going to see your 2 biggest toes on your left foot. Squaring up my hips toward the right side. So maybe I need to pull back my right hip a little bit. Press back a little bit more to my right side here so I have open hips. Then I bring my arms up, start bringing my core under my body. And I'm going to shut up now. 10 breaths here. Still pressing down to the outside, still bending gradually to the front foot. Three more. Windmill down. Bring your left foot. Bring your left thigh toward your chest. Squeeze it tight. Bring it back. And we're going to stack left leg on right. Hand under shoulder. Left hand reaches up. Bring the hips up. Reach the left foot up. Reach over your head maybe. Three. Come up higher. 2, 1. Lower your hands in the plank position. Lower your arms halfway. Inhale into up dog. Exhale, come to down dog. Lower your knees, come back to child's pose. So 10 breaths here. Keep the hip flexibility that we had, so keep your legs wide, mat width distance. Reach your arms forward. Big toes come to touch at the mat. And take a few deep breaths here. You can walk your hands back. If you feel like you're up high like this, walk your hands closer to your legs and then press back.
You want to feel a stretch right here. That's the primary point of child's pose, is lower back relief. Okay, come back up now. We are done with the standing series. Just want to let you know. From here, we're going to keep on with the flexibility stuff. So we're going to move to half splits right away. So we've got a ton of stuff that we're doing with hamstring flexibility, with hip flexibility. So let's go into that. So walk the left leg forward. Walk the right knee back as far as you can. And you're going to rest right above your kneecap on your right side. So not quite right here, but kind of on the thigh, on that upper area. You're going to walk your left leg out. Bend here. See how far you can get it out without hurting yourself. If you feel something start to get too tight, don't press it. You know, it's important to find new lengths, but you don't want to create lengths that are not accessible by your body and then end up being out for months at a time. So flex your toes back toward you, press your heel into the ground, pull your right hip flexor forward, and start bending into your front leg. Start bending your upper body toward your toes. So just relaxing, actually, sorry, not toward your toes. You want to relax your head and your neck toward your knee, toward the ground. Keep flexing here. Keep strong and engaged in the left leg. Be here for 10 breaths. Halfway. Okay, keep your left leg engaged. Start inching your right leg up. Start getting out of this very strenuous bend in your left leg. You're going to switch legs. So left leg's going to come back. A little bit of relief for your left hamstring. Right hamstring is going to come forward. So your right foot's going to come forward now. So now we're going to test that leg. Start walking forward. Start to bend into your heel here. Flex your toes toward you. Press your heel into the ground. Make sure everything feels okay. If this is not feeling okay, take a more moderate approach to this. Keep it right here. Keep your toes flexed back toward you. Just right there. Again, if you want to go see if we can get a little more flexible, walk your legs back. Go a little further. Bend into your, walk your left leg back. Flex your toes toward you in your right foot. Press your heel into the ground. Lower your head toward the mat, toward your right knee. Bend here. If you can reach your upper body toward your right hamstring here. We're going to be here for 10 breaths. Keep the right leg engaged and strong. Halfway. Walk it out. Bring your left leg closer to your right foot. Release all the tension in your right leg. And now from here, we're going to go to, what are we going to go to? We're going to go to another hamstring stretch. So we're going to have your legs out wide now. Like this. So you're trying to form a V with your legs. Sit up straight here. Reach your arms forward. If this is enough to just be right here, that's fine. If you're feeling like you're not getting a lot of a stretch and you can't reach your arms forward anymore, what you can do is just grab your inside of your thighs and reach up like that. Flex your toes toward you, and that's going to get a nice stretch for your upper back. Otherwise, walk your arms forward, keep your toes flexed toward you, and try and get your head as far from this side as possible. So as far from the right side as possible. You have something to grip onto here, you can grab onto something. If not, just keep your toes flexed toward you. Keep reaching. You can also grab your feet here, pull forward. We just did a pretty intense hamstring stretch, so you should have the flexibility for this if you had it before. If you don't have it, if you didn't have it before and you don't have it now, understandable. If you had this before though, this should be a good time to try this out. Just keep the toes flexed back toward you. Try to eliminate the curve in your spine. I'm trying to reach your chest forward here. Let's do 5 breaths here. Release that. Okay, from here, we're going to come to actually, we're going to go to staff pose from here. So face the front of your mat. Staff pose is awesome. But then, actually, it's the pose of the week right now. Go figure. Anyways, staff pose is great. Works on your core. Works on your posture a lot. Can be done with a buddy. Can be done by yourself, obviously. So, anyways, you want to so your butt kind of gets in the way here. So you just kind of wiggle here until you can sit firmly. Flex your toes back toward you. Point your heels away from you. Engage everything here. So engage the thighs, engage the quads. Everything is engaged here. Start to reach your chest up. Start to try and hollow out this area in your spine. Like someone's pulling a string up on your chest. Bring your core up and forward. So eliminating this area, eliminating this core, this bend right here. Reaching up, trying to get as tall as possible. And then press your hands into your sides, into the ground. Trying to create more length. And then reach your hands away, and you can realize that you still have that length. And then reach your arms up. Try and get even higher. Look up if you want. Reach as high as possible. 5 breaths here. 5 quick breaths. Last one. Release. However you want. Whew. Relax. Now we're going to move into a quad stretch. So bring the right leg back first. Actually, let's do left leg first. Left leg first. I'm just going to bend to the back here. So it's lowering down on your right side. The reason for all those quad stretches, all those warrior poses we do, ton of pressure on your quads. So there's a ton of really tight muscles here right now. Really going to stretch those out. So lean back into your right side. Feel the stretch from here. Hip flexor also gets involved a little bit here. So we're going to do about 5 deep breaths here. You also reach your knee towards the ground, so reach forward. That'll help get you a deeper stretch. Last breath here. Come forward. Release your right leg. Come to your left leg now. Bring your right foot behind you. Start to bend back into your left side. You can reach your knee toward the ground, get a deeper stretch. And the farther you sink back here, the more your body goes toward the ground, deeper stretch you'll get in your right quad now. So again, you can reach your knee forward. About halfway there. Okay, come on to that. And if you thought we were done, you're almost, right? So I'm going to show you two other things today. Well, one thing that leads into a lot of things, and then the last thing of that final thing. So I'm going to show you one series, basically. So flex this toe. Flex your left foot. Bring it into the crook of your right elbow. And then interlace your fingers. And imagine that you're cradling your leg. So this is going to work on alleviating the stress in your hip. So I'm rocking back and forth here. My right leg is strong and extended, toes flex back toward me. Make sure that your left toe here, the toes are engaged. You don't want to have an unengaged foot there, because that's how this tendon's here, doing little poppy thingies, mischievous things that no one wants. Try to straighten up here, so sit up as straight as possible. So you're going to feel some relief in your lower back as well when this happens. And then I'll show you one thing. So transfer the weight to your left hand. Into your right hand. Lean onto your left side and just roll around here. And you might feel a nice little massage there. That is your, I can't remember if it's gluteus minimus or gluteus minimal. It's one of those. Anyways, roll around here. You'll feel that really nice relief, like a massage. And then let's come back. So from here, you're going to start bringing this leg up. Keep this toe flexed, keep this leg engaged. And you're going to bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. And then you're going to reach up. I know this looks absolutely ridiculous, and it's hard if you've never done it before, but we're going to work on it. So we're reaching up here, trying to keep it straight back, working on flexibility here. Reaching up. And this is actually how people learn to put their head on their foot. This is how it happens, like that. So still reaching up. You can also use your left shoulder if you want to help bring it back. Try to keep it straight back here if you can. And now we're going to set this down here. Not set it down, but I'm setting it down, dropping my tricep. So my hands are going to face forward. I'm going to squeeze my leg into my tricep or your shoulder. If you have the flexibility to get your knee up into your shoulder, go for it. I just don't. And I'm going to reach my right leg up. So I've got a balance going on right here. Make sure that your shoulders are facing forward, that your fingers are facing forward, and then interlace your toes here, interlace your fingers. So I'm wrapping my left leg around the outside of my right foot, and then I'm going to shoot out here, and now I'm in 8-limb pose. So I'm trying to straighten my legs here, keeping my right shoulder up. I don't want to sink down like that. I want to keep this up, and I'm extending here. And then to come back, just come back. Keep squeezing the leg into the tricep, and then lower down. Woo! So a lot of stuff going on there. But this first thing that we did, it's called elephant trunk. Yeah, it's called elephant trunk. I can think of a different name for it, and when I do, I'll let you know. But let's just go with elephant trunk for the time being. So, push your toes back toward you. We're going to switch sides. Now the left toe flex towards you. This leg engages. Flex your right foot. Bring it into the crook of your left elbow. Keep that engaged. Interlace your fingers. Straighten your back. Sit up straight. And then start to rock your right leg back and forth, working on the hip. Try and straighten your back here again. You want to angle your hips forward. So you want to be sitting straight, looking straight. Toes press into the crook of your left elbow and engaged. From here, you can bring your right toe to your left hand, and then start to massage muscle over here, leaning back, rolling around here. You're gonna feel a nice little massage. If you don't feel it, I feel sorry for you because it feels amazing. Right here, right next to your gluteus maximus, the gluteus minimus, or minimal. I should really look that up. Anyways, bring it back to elephant trunk here. Start to reach up. So press into your foot here. Keep that foot engaged and strong. Reach my right hand under right elbow. Sorry. So I'm bringing the crook of my right leg to my tricep, and then I'm reaching up through my right leg. Just trying to keep my back as straight as possible. I know it's hard when you get into this, especially if you have some mass on your arms and your shoulders and your legs. It all gets in the way, but you know, it's not getting in the way because you should have it there anyways. It's good to have if that's your problem. You know, it's not a big problem. And then you're gonna squeeze this right leg onto your tricep. Keep your hands facing forward. Reach up with your left foot, and then interlace my left foot over my right. And then I'm gonna reach out here, extend, not bending too much into my left shoulder here, keeping my shoulders level. Maybe do some push-ups here. You know, why not? Keep reaching out. And coming back to center, squeezing here, reaching the left foot out, lowering my feet. And coming back to center, and then maybe taking a nap. You know, it's a good idea to do. That's Shavasana thing. You know, lay down on your back, relax. So we just did a lot of stuff today. That last exercise was a ton of core, a lot of hip flexibility. Did a lot of hip flexibility today, a lot of hamstring flexibility. So you should be feeling pretty open right now. Not a ton of upper body stuff. It's good to do when you do that. The last thing we did, that 8-limb pose, it is good to get some shoulder flexibility in there. So if you want to warm up to that by doing some dolphin pose or doing some eagle next time, it's a good idea. We just didn't get to it today, but I hope you had a good workout. I did. I'm exhausted. I can't wait to go eat a sandwich and some eggs. But I'll see you guys next time. Man Flow Yoga out.